Surprisingly, there's not really a lot of reviews for this documentary that we knew was coming. I believe it's been out for a little bit now. I haven't watched it yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to. I just don't really feel like watching this. I already know what it's going to do. I already know what it's going to say, as I'm sure you know as well. It's kind of too soon. I would think a documentary on this would be better in a year or so. Not so fresh off of the trial. But, I don't know. Are people wanting this? So they put this out. Reviews are kind of trickling out. I haven't seen that many. There's nothing on Rotten Tomatoes. All I found was this one from Independent, and they give it a 2 out of 5. We'll come back to this in a second. I want to go over some stuff that we've already seen, and that's that the documentary has a lot of lies in it. At least one. And that's this one right here, talking about how apparently JD's lawyers persuaded the judge to allow cameras in the courthouse, which is not the case. They just didn't object to it. They didn't object to it. The one that did was AH. That's not JD pushing. But they're just running with that, and it's messed up. The other part right here is this. This is really messed up. So during part 2, I guess, during part 2 of the documentary, they used footage from people's YouTube channels. I mean, naturally, there was a lot of coverage from YouTube channels. I covered it. Here's Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet. And, of course, that Umbrella guy, Kada. There were a lot of people covering the trial. It was the best place to go if you wanted to get the real story. You had to go to independent media. Now, what's really messed up about this with Discovery Plus and their documentary is they used that footage. Naturally, people want to go over it and talk about it in their own videos. Well, you can't use your own footage. You can't use your own, I'm laughing because this is stupid. If you use clips of yourself from the documentary, Discovery Communications strikes you and blocks it. Now, I don't think it's a full copyright strike. He's going to fight this and win for sure. But it's the point of the matter. This is another broken copyright thing for YouTube. They shouldn't be allowed to do this. I mean, this is ridiculous. So they didn't even ask, by the way, to use this footage. And no one would have said they can't, right? But it's the point that they didn't even ask. And now they're just blocking you for going over your own shit from the documentary. Yo, Discovery Plus, why are you allowed to use footage from my channel and others on here without our permission, along with tons of public domain court footage and news clips, but we can't show clips from your show? I'm fighting this. Sorry to all those that were blocked. So he put out this video, and it got blocked because he used his own footage from this documentary, which is really messed up. Really messed up. So here's so this is from his YouTube studio. This is something you don't really see unless you are a content creator. You're not going to really know what this is. But what he's doing here is he's showing the receipt that they did in fact do it. So it's blocked in certain parts of the world, I believe. It's not fully blocked. You see how monetization is ineligible here? That's because they're claiming it for 44 seconds through 1 minute and 18 in his video. It's from Amber's story. This is really messed up. And I kind of thought they might do this, and it's crazy to see. Like, look at this is what's messed up about this. Look, it's a picture. It's video of him right here. And there he is reacting to it, and they're copywriting it. It's wild, and it shows how broken YouTube can really be. And that's why I kind of wanted to highlight it. Now, as for the documentary itself, it does sound like it's awful. In this review, they talk about how it's kind of hastily made, which makes sense considering, I mean, the trial was just in June. It wasn't that long ago. So they kind of rushed this out. I really just don't think interest is there for this right now. It's because the trial is so fresh. But it sounds like it is biased towards AH just enough. I don't want to watch this thing. 2 hours or however long this is a lot of time right now. And I've got so much other stuff that I want to watch over this garbage. But I'll read a little bit of this to you. It's the second hour of the doc, which focuses on AH's story that proves faintly more insightful without hours of war room footage. Filmmakers focus on the media circus surrounding the trial, even bringing in some of the most followed trial Instagrammers for interviews. It's not about being obsessively detail-oriented, says Jessica Reed, whose account has 1 million followers. It's about the gossip. Johnny versus AH Part 2 isn't so much biased as toothless. It's also light on factual information, like, for example, the definition of defamation, or even a quick rundown of what happened in the UK. I suppose you could say the documentary is not obsessively detail-oriented. You don't want to necessarily give all the answers to the jury, Vasquez tells the camera, by way of describing what makes a good case. You want them to come to their own conclusions. Her point is that the real truth isn't as compelling as the truth you tell yourself. It works as a trial strategy, clearly, but also as a prism for understanding this glossy doc. Johnny versus Amber doesn't adopt its adversarial framework in the hopes of discovering what really happened, but to make sure everyone's side is at least a little heard. No matter your allegiance, the series gives you just enough information to come to the conclusion you'd probably already reached. And that kind of sums up the whole review. I'm really shocked that there's not a lot of reviews on this. There's nothing on Rotten Tomatoes. It shows you just how nobody's taking this serious, and you shouldn't. I mean, we've already shown at the start of this video that there was some bias in it, and it's really messed up that they're striking channels for using their own stuff. Hopefully it gets sorted out. Andy says he's fighting this, as he should, and hopefully this gets fixed. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.